Very beginning of the video here. At the beginning, I want to update on the Indiegogo campaign, the fundraiser for the night vision camcorder, in case you're watching this first time checking out the channel, or if you've watched plenty of the videos. There's been a lot of donations so far, a lot of attention. All of the donations are invisible, but I know they're there. It still says $0, but I'm positive that there's been hundreds. But aside from that, and how well it's going, if anybody has any other ideas for perks that they want in there instead in place, or in fact, this, you kind of can't see that, there will be a shirt video right here to show you guys the shirts, evidence, you know, that they actually exist and aren't just designs. That way you can actually see what you'd be getting for some of the perk rewards. And I'll update soon with a sample of the postcards and the poster that I ordered as well. And now on to the actual ritual this time, which I think a lot of you are going to be happy to hear about. Alright, this time I gotta stop starting these with the phrase "alright." That's just a blank piece of paper there. The experiment this time, in case you didn't read it there, is a succubus summoning ritual. Don't get too excited. I've had, I don't know how many, a lot of requests for this one. A lot of requests for succubus rituals in general. In case you can't tell from the sound, might not have come through yet, but I am once again in the same barn that I was in for the soul selling because of the concrete floor. I was going to try this in the cellar, but I feel like it would interfere with using the cellar as the place for the processes in Coetting's book, and I also don't feel confident in being able to draw a very good Lilith name in Hebrew, spelling Lilith's name in Hebrew on the floor with a permanent marker of the cellar. I mean, even though it looks clean, there's still a nice layer of mud on the floor that's difficult to draw in because it's covering the brick. But the concrete floor in here is fine as long as I sweep it, so I should be able to do it back here relatively easily and make it clear and concise. I'll get to the instructions. The requirements are 5 candles engraved with one of the elemental symbols of fire, wind, water, earth, and spirit, 1 symbol per candle. You can see the 5 candles here, but you can kind of see them. Chalk that you have to consecrate with sexual energy either by masturbating on it, basically, or having sex and using what the instructions call love juices to cover the chalk. I have chalk here, and you guys are just going to have to trust me when I say that I've followed the instructions. Alright. A black marker to draw the Hebrew name of Lilith, as well as her sigil, in the pentacle. A pleasant incense. It says to put it somewhere that you can smell it but not see it. That'll be these. A small metal container where you can burn something without fear of the container burning or spreading a fire. And I've got a coffee can over there. And a virgin white paper and a pen or pencil. There's a pen and a pencil right over there. And there's the white piece of paper. Now, as for the actual ritual, it says to draw the circle and the pentacle, the symbols, the Hebrew names, and the sigil shown in the picture. For the picture, what it's talking about is this. And you can see spirit there, wind, water, earth, fire. There's the Hebrew name of Lilith repeated over and over. I assume I don't actually read Hebrew, so I can't validate that. And in the center is the sigil. Then next it says to light the candles and place them at their corresponding place in the pentacle where the elemental symbol is drawn. Remove your clothes and sit on top of Lilith's sigil inside the pentacle. Close your eyes and begin to meditate and enter into trance. As you are falling into trance, say and repeat several times in a very quiet voice a prayer to Lilith. You must create this prayer as it must come from deep within yourself. Imagine the most sexual woman you can picture with your mind while you perform the prayer. Take the virgin piece of paper and write your desire to Lilith. Write it with great lust to charge the paper with sexual energy. Then burn the paper in the metal container by using the candle, and this is important, with the fire element inscribed on it. Performing another set of prayers to Lilith, or rather, perform another set of prayers to Lilith. After finishing the prayers to Lilith, open your eyes, lay upside on the triangle. I imagine that means, belly up. And continue thinking of the woman you were thinking of, and imagine with all your might a sexual encounter with her. While you do this, it says it's important not to masturbate, and that you should verbally, out loud, ask Lilith to send one of her servants to your call, and offer yourself to a succubus. Continue to, well, rather, not continue to, but lay in the pentagram, thinking of having sex with this woman that you've been imagining. And it says to never touch yourself, so you never actually masturbate, even though it's the second time it's just that. And keep doing it, the imagining, until you feel a sense or a presence in the room. If the succubus begins to caress and touch you, let her continue and enjoy the experience until it stops. After it ends, continue to the next step. The next step says that if nothing touches you, sit down and say aloud a prayer of thanks to Lilith, mother of succubi, and to her servant for having listened to you this time. The next page says that to end the ritual, you stand up and perform a prayer to Lilith again. Don't you fall. Stand up and perform a prayer to Lilith again, thinking of an erotic woman while you do that prayer. And then light off the candles in no particular order. I think by light off it means blow out or extinguish. Exit the circle, and thus the ritual ends. There is a note added at the end that says sometimes things happen, we don't concentrate enough, or we are inexperienced and the succubus doesn't come the first time. It says not to worry. The main cause for lack of success seems to be that we don't generate enough sexual energy for the rite. To greatly increase your chance of successfully summoning a succubus after the ritual, do not masturbate and go to sleep naked. It's saying you should actually go to sleep naked, but you shouldn't do the masturbate part. Repeat the ritual the following night and continue until it works. The accumulated sexual energy will act as a very effective prize for the succubus. Now, I might repeat this 3 times in a row, 3 nights in a row. I might not record all of them because I have had requests to always do a version off camera whenever I do one on camera, just in case, because one of the main critiques I get is that nothing will work on camera. So, I am going to go ahead and get started on drawing everything. I don't think you guys want to watch that, and I also have to take this X-Acto knife here and put in the wind, earth, fire, water, spirit symbols into the candles. And then write Lilith's name in Hebrew and the sigil in the center. I'm going to get all of that done, and then I'll kick the camera back on when I'm about to start. That way you guys don't have to watch the handiwork. Alright, everything's set up. It's about midnight. Turning off the flashlight I used to get things set up. That's there. I'm going to go ahead and start now. I think the camera is at the right angle. Actually, 1 second. Alright, I think I'm ready to begin. Lilith, please send me one of your servants as I offer myself up to her. I thank you, Lilith, mother of Succubi, and your servant for having heard me out. Alright, there you have it. I'm going to aim this camera to the side here and grab my clothes for a second and a flashlight. There we are. Now I'm somewhat dressed. You can see some of the candles there. The flashlight doesn't really get the job done very well. To be clear, I didn't feel any strange sensations. I followed the instructions exactly, well, pretty much exactly, as best as you could expect, since it doesn't really elaborate on exactly what you're supposed to imagine other than a sexual encounter. You get the idea. Without being too specific in what I imagined, I followed the instructions. Let me get the light there. There, that's a good spot to keep the light while I finish talking. Don't forget to check out the Indiegogo campaign fundraiser for night vision cameras if you hate, me using a flashlight. And if you don't have cash, tell your friends. Can't hurt, right? Also, if you have suggestions for other experiments, ideas, rituals, processes, spells, it doesn't matter what they are, as long as it's paranormal, be sure to send it to me. Even if, I know how a lot of people don't send me curses, but even a curse, anything paranormal, go ahead and send it. And I'm not saying like I'm going to go curse people. I could practice using it on myself, for example, and we could still see the results. I mean, cursing myself in theory should work, right? But back to the point, if you have suggestions, be sure to send them in, and appreciate all those. And if you want to make sure that you actually see it when I try it, then go ahead and subscribe. That way YouTube will send you a little message every week or whatever you put the setting at to let you know when I upload another video.